Alright, so this is exciting. Filming a new video! Alright, well, what do I want to say? I don't want to start. So my latest video is at over 2 million views right now. 2 million! That's a million people watching my videos. More than 1 million. 2 millions of peoples. It's a lot of peoples. And then my subscriber total is bumped up from just under 1,000 when I posted it to over 12,000 right now. That's a lot of new fans, a lot of new people watching, and so I want to continue to pump out content for you guys. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, look at my big viral video, ain't that awesome? Now sucks to suck, screw you, wait a year for the next content. No. So I want to take a quick minute to film a video because millions of views, hundreds of comments on my video, but the most common comment of all on that new video is of course the fake, hypnosis is fake, this is totally fake, this can't be real, nice acting, wow, good actors, wow, totally produced, fake is all people have to say. Can you just please leave a nice comment? Maybe? So I can understand, because oftentimes when people don't understand what they do is they default to disbelief. And to be fair, hypnosis is fake to an extent. Okay, so the hypnosis that you see on TV, the hypnosis you see on movies, the "you are now under my mind control powers and you will do anything that I want," echo, 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 that stuff is not real, okay? So that hypnosis is fake, I will give you that. Fake hypnosis is fake, okay? I like to joke with people at my shows. I say, if you think everything on TV is exactly like it is in real life, then I got a set of kitchen knives I want to sell you. Cha-ching. TV is fake. TV is produced, TV is dramatized to make it entertaining and fun, but it's not real because it's on TV, and we know this. But for so many people, their only experience of hypnosis is what they see on TV, and so they default to, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, which they're right because what they're used to seeing is really fake. However, hypnosis is a real thing. Hypnosis does actually exist. I do not use any actors in any of my videos. None of what I do is fake. It is all in real life. Hypnosis is less about me controlling someone's mind as much as it is about me teaching people how they can be in control of their own mind. Hypnosis is not mind control, however. Hypnosis just centers around the simple idea that what we focus on becomes our experience. Take this, for example. Have you ever watched a really sad movie and teared up or even cried because it was such a sad scene or such a sad ending or such a happy ending that just made you emotional and just, you know, water, liquid was coming down from the face and you gotta get the box of tissues near you because it's a hot mess? Has that ever happened? And it just me? No, am I the only one that tears up? I'm sure other people have. When we watch a movie, we know that it is fake. We know that it's actors and actresses on a screen that are portraying a fake story, and yet we still produce real emotions. Why? Because we're so focused on what's happening that we take what's happening in that movie or in that show or whatever we're watching, we're so focused on it that we experience it as if it was real. And that's why we produce real emotions. That's why we laugh, that's why we cry, that's why we get scared. That's why we jump when there's a jump scare on TV, right? Because we're so focused that we experience it as if we were actually there. And that's what hypnosis is all about. Hypnosis takes the simple idea of focusing on something so much that it actually becomes your real experience. I want to do a little demonstration for you all that you can actually follow along as I show you how to do it here on the video. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Just sit bored for the next minute while I show people how to do this. But this is something that you guys can actually try watching right at home wherever you're watching this video. So what I want to have you do to kind of demonstrate how what we focus on becomes what we experience is take your two hands together. Take your two hands together. Take your two hands and bring them together for me, just like you see me doing. And what I want to have you do is focus on the closest knuckle to your closest thumb. So for me, it would be this knuckle right on my right thumb here. And put your hands about eye level and focus on that spot on your hands. Now as you're focusing on that spot, what I want you to do is really squeeze those hands tight together. Really tightly squeeze those hands as you focus on that spot with your eyes. And the more you focus on that spot with your eyes, the more you squeeze those hands tighter and tighter together. And as you squeeze those hands and focus on that spot with your eyes, in your mind I want you to imagine that your hands have suddenly become the strongest clamp in the world. As more of those hands squeeze tighter and tighter, those hands become locked tighter and tighter as if they were suddenly the strongest clamp in the world. And as you focus on that spot with your eyes, those hands squeeze tighter and tighter, those hands become completely locked tight together and the more you squeeze them, the more you focus, the more locked they become, so much so that the more you might want to try to pull those hands apart, the more you find they come closer and closer together. And you can even test this now and see that the more you try to pull them apart, the more they come together. Really try to pull those hands apart and notice that you can't. Notice they come closer and closer together. And you can stop trying now. Stop trying to pull them apart. Continue to focus on that spot on your thumb. In a moment, I'm going to count it from 1 to 3, and when I reach the number 3, those hands will come apart easily. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Those hands can now come right apart because your focus has now shifted. And see, that's what hypnosis is all about. See, because one of two things either happened for you. Either you were so focused and you were on the idea and your hands were squeezed and they were locked, and even as you tried to pull them apart, you couldn't because you were so focused on the idea of them being stuck together that even as you tried and shifted your idea and attention, they still stayed together because you were so focused on that idea until I helped you shift your focus out by saying when I count from 1 to 3, when I reach number 3, your focus is shifted, those hands come right apart. Now, if your hands came right apart, if you were one of those people that were like, yeah, gotcha, hypnosis is fake, I did it, badge, gold star for me. If that was you, the only reason you separated your hands is because you told yourself you could separate your hands, okay? This isn't mind control, this isn't voodoo magic. I didn't cast a spell over the internet to make your hands lock together. All I did was have you shift your focus on an idea of them not being able to come apart. Now, if you pulled them apart, that's fine. That just means you were focused on the idea of the fact that you can pull your hands apart. Because it's not magic, it's not a spell. You can always pull your hands apart at any time. Say the fire alarm were to go off in the middle of you doing this, you would shift your focus because you know you got to get the heck out of where you are so you don't die, and you would pull your hands apart and go because you shifted your focus out of the idea that I was presenting. And if you were focusing on the spot and then you pulled them apart, then it's simply because you said, watch, I can pull my hands apart. Because that was what you focused on, that actually became your experience, okay? You experienced what you focused on. You hypnotized yourself to say, of course I can pull my hands apart. But if you showed yourself that even by trying to pull your hands apart, they were still stuck together because of how well you were focusing, that's all that hypnosis is. It's simply this idea of what we focus on becomes our experience, and that's it, okay? Now, think about this. Imagine for a moment that I said, pretend to have your hands stuck together. No hypnosis, no focus. Just pretend your hands aren't stuck together. Pretend they are stuck together and you can't pull them apart. And you could be like, yeah, oh my gosh, they're still stuck and I can't pull them apart. What am I going to do? Still fake. Right? Imagine I asked you to pretend. You could pretend. However, here's the idea. When you're pretending, you're still experiencing the results. You're still experiencing the fact that your hands are not coming apart. Even though you're pretending, you're still having a real experience. However, you still know in your mind, okay, this is just pretend, this isn't really real, and that's where there is the difference. You're having a real experience, but in your mind you're telling yourself, okay, this isn't really real. With hypnosis, what I help people do is shift their focus so much that they're actually having the full experience, and they're not thinking about whether or not it's real. They're so focused on this moment, on this experience, that it feels real in that moment. That's why if your hands were so stuck together, you weren't thinking about the fact that I can pull my hands apart. You were focused, they're stuck, they're stuck, they're stuck. And because you were so focused, that became your real experience. Now, what would happen if I asked you to pretend your hands were stuck together, and you pretended and you had that real experience, but then you pretended that you weren't pretending? Then you pretend you're pretending so much that you're no longer pretending, but it's a real experience in the real moment of what you're experiencing. And when I use hypnosis to help people have fun and silly experiences, like thinking that I became invisible or turned into their favorite celebrity or whatever it is, all I'm doing is I'm helping shift people into a certain state. In hypnosis, we often call this a trance state, where in a trance state, they're so focused on me and what I'm saying that anything that I say becomes real. That when I tell somebody I'm invisible, they're not thinking, okay, he's not really invisible, this isn't really happening. They're so focused, the moment I say it, the moment it becomes real for them in that moment. Just like when you watch a movie and you cry because it's a really sad scene in the movie. You're not thinking about the fact that these are actors and this is fake and this isn't a real story. You're so focused on the story that it feels real. The moment the phone rings and you shift your focus out of the story, those tears stop because you're not focused on the story anymore. You're focused on something else. And that's all hypnosis is. When you see people having these crazy reactions and crazy responses, what they're doing is they're having a real experience to a fake idea. But it doesn't matter to them whether the idea is fake. They're so focused on it that it becomes real in the moment. Sort of like when you have a daydream that just feels so real because you're so focused on it. Doesn't matter if it's all in your mind. In that moment, it is real. And so at the end of the day, it's the results that are important, right? When I hypnotize somebody to, let's say, meet their favorite celebrity, to everybody else watching, they know it's just me, and that's part of the fun and having the reactions of, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. But to them, they're still having this real experience. Because at the end of the day, it's about the experience that we give ourselves by shifting our focus. And that's what hypnosis is all about. Because at the end of the day, the results are what matter. So take this for an example. I can use hypnosis to help people have a fun experience, but I can also use it to help people have a very real experience and totally transform their lives. It can help people become more confident, less stressed, get rid of depression, anxiety, fears, phobias, limiting beliefs, things that are holding people back from who they want to be. By helping them to focus on where they want to go, then I help them achieve it and get that. Because by shifting our focus, we shift our experience. So take confidence for an example. Confidence is one of my biggest passions to help people experience in their everyday life, because when you're confident, you can achieve or do anything. And what would happen if I were to tell you, I want you to pretend like you're the most confident person in the world. Pretend that nothing can hold you back. Pretend that you own who you are. Pretend that you are confident. What would happen? Even though in your mind you would be pretending, you would still be confident. You'd still be having the same experience as if it was real, even though it's just pretend. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what's going on up here if the result is what you want. And here's the crazy thing, that the more you do it and the more you pretend and have this real experience anyways, the less your brain has to pretend and the more real it becomes, until eventually you don't even have to pretend anymore because you actually are. It's like the old expression, fake it until you make it, except it's the higher level of fake it until you become it. And that's what hypnosis is about. For some people, they're skeptical about the idea and of focusing and can I really be hypnotized? And it takes them pretending to have this experience enough to actually experience it. Some people are really great at focus and hypnosis and showing themselves that by shifting their mindset, they can shift their experience. And that's how you see some of these videos I do with people, where it's a matter of seconds or minutes to get people into a trance state where anything I say is their real experience, because they're not in their head, they're not overanalyzing, they're not overthinking, they're focused, and they have an incredible real experience. At the end of the day, we all hypnotize ourselves, okay? We hypnotize ourselves by believing whatever we believe and having a real experience. Because just because you believe something does not make it true. It just means that you believe it. So let's say that you tell yourself that you are not a confident person. Well, that doesn't mean it's true, that just means you believe it for some reason. And the more we focus on the fact that we're not confident, the more our brain is actually wiring itself to be not confident, because that's our focus. You tell yourself, I'm not confident, I'm not confident, I'm not confident, then that becomes your real experience, and you're wiring your brain and your mind and your body to be less confident. Or if you were to shift your focus into telling yourself, I'm the most confident person in the world and nothing can hold me back because I own who I am and I am confident, then guess what? You will experience that confidence. And the more you own and focus on this new identity and new idea that you are confident, that's when you have this new and real experience, and that's when you become confident. Look, whether I give you any suggestions or not, whether I hypnotize you or not, every single day, every single person is hypnotizing themselves in one way or another. By choosing to focus on the ideas that we focus on, that's actually the experience that we're living, because we hypnotize ourselves. And by understanding that hypnosis is simply just about this idea, what we focus on becomes what we experience, then our mind shifts into new possibilities, because when we know that anything is possible, whether or not it's real outside, if it's real up here, it's real in here. And you see, when I hypnotize somebody to think that I'm invisible, it doesn't matter if I'm not. To them it's so real that that's their experience, and they are experiencing me being invisible. They freak out, they have fun, they get scared, whatever it is, that natural fun reaction of this, if you just saw a ghost or saw somebody magically disappear, that's real to them, because they're so focused and they're in that space and they're in that mindset of saying, because I can focus on this, this is now real. And you can do it with fun suggestions, or you can do it with real suggestions to change your life forever by focusing on the idea of being totally confident, by focusing on the idea of being stress-free, by focusing on the fact that you don't have depression, you don't have anxiety, you don't have these issues anymore, simply by focusing your mindset. That's not to say we can just think away our problems of, hey, I'm all set and I'm all good, but we can shift our focus. Because what's wrong is always available when we look for it. But so is what's right. So is what's right. We look for what's right, we'll find it. We focus on what's right, we experience it. We look for what's wrong, we find that. We look for what's wrong, we experience that. So focus on what you want, focus on who you want to become, and you will experience it. And at the end of the day, that is what hypnosis is all about. It's not fake, it's not pretend, there are no actors. Everything is the mindset. And by helping people shift their mindset, anything is possible. And that's what I'm passionate about, that's what I'm excited about. That's my mission. Is I love doing the fun hypnosis, I love doing the street shows, the stage shows, and helping people have fun, crazy experiences. I'm not about having people cluck like a chicken or dancing like a fool, or, well, dancing like a fool is fun because, you know, you just let yourself loose and have fun. But I don't ever want to embarrass anybody in hypnosis. It's not what I'm about. I want to help people have cool, amazing experiences, like thinking I'm a celebrity or that I'm invisible, because that's a genuinely cool experience. I'd love to experience that myself too. But even more than helping people have fun experiences, I want to change lives. And I want to change the world. Because anything is possible. And that same skill set to help somebody have a fun, amazing experience on stage or on the street can be used to help somebody totally transform and change their life forever. See, when you learn how to change your mindset, you can change your life. But when you learn how to change the mindset of others, you can change the world. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to change the world, I'm going to change mindsets, help shift people into where they've been, from where they've been, into who they want to become, and that's hypnosis. It's your focus equals your experience. Thank you guys, thank you again for the support. The 2 million views, 12,000 subscribers still just blows my mind, and I'm so grateful for just this opportunity to be able to have more of a platform to reach more people. Because at the end of the day, I'm about changing lives, I'm about making a difference in the world, because I believe and I own the fact that a life has no meaning except in the impact it has on other lives. And my life is going to impact millions and billions someday, and this is only the beginning. So if you're with me at the beginning of this journey, I'm excited. If you watch this video at some point later on, years down the road, that'll be kind of a fun moment to see, hey look, this is where Zach was back in April of 2019, and look where he's at now. The sky is the limit, the best is ahead, I'm excited. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, until the next video, subscribe, keep up with me on socials, and I will catch you in the flippity flop.